What is going on, team? Welcome to today's video. 3 years ago today I went to prison. Life looks a little bit different now. We are in Thailand. We've got an absolutely beautiful view of the ocean there. And I want to talk about my experiences and what I learned from going to prison at such a young age, 19 years of age. Now 22, doing my thing. I'll just start off by expressing my gratitude for going to prison, which is quite controversial, right? Grateful I went to prison, but to the outside, that can be like, why are you grateful? In prison, I learned a lot of lessons. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the world. I learned a lot about why people go back to prison. I learned a lot about why prisons exist. And I studied. I spent a lot of time studying. So I learned a thing or two, and I really took the time to notice what was going on in my life. So the reason I went to jail, for those who are new to my channel, is I was a little bit misbehaved. I decided to get into a fight, which also led to me hurting the other person. Before I went to prison, I was sort of suffering in my imagination about prison. And it taught me that we actually suffer more in our imagination than we do in reality, because when I got to prison, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I wasn't scared, I was just nervous. I had anxiety. And that's probably the worst part about prison, was the lead up to going, being on the bus, hearing people on the bus speaking, talking about crimes they've committed and flexing about the crimes they committed. I was thinking to myself, is this what I am now? Is this what I'm a part of? Is this my identity? Tom Roberts, the prisoner. Do I have to act like this when I go to prison? Is there a standard that I need to live by? And when I got to prison, it wasn't as bad as it seemed. The first lesson I learned was the ability to ride alone. Before I went to prison, I wouldn't like to go for food on my own. I would not like to go to the gym on my own. I just wouldn't like to do stuff on my own. I felt weird, and I judged people for doing stuff on their own. But now I look back on it, I don't even know why I had that belief. I'm like, where did this belief even come from? That's one thing I learned. It's okay to ride alone, but you do work better in a team. Remember that. The second thing I learned about life when I was in prison was patience. Patience isn't the ability to wait. It's the ability to behave in a certain way whilst you wait. I knew that I was getting out. I knew what day I was getting out. So I couldn't change that. I had to be patient. It was out of my control. I had to be patient. But one thing I had to learn was, how do I conduct my behaviour whilst I'm waiting? And I decided to fill that time with reading books, listening to people's journeys and experiences, why they went to prison, what they've learned, and learn from other people's experiences. Like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Third thing I learned about myself, who is Tom Roberts? And the way I figured out who I was, because I took the time to analyse the way the world's seen who I was, which at the time was irresponsible, aggressive, drug dealer, immature. In my subconscious mind, I thought, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be strong and responsible, I'm going to be mature, I'm going to be a leader, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to have businesses. But reality said the exact opposite, which didn't feel good, to be honest with you. It did not feel good, because I had this idea of, this is who I want to become, but this is who I am. How the fuck am I supposed to do this? How do I change? So we just started diving a little bit deeper into personal development. Well, how do I change who I am? How do I change my habits? All that sort of good stuff. And then that's what I did. I'd say the most important lesson I learned is freedom, and understanding what freedom was. Because although I had time freedom, I had as much time as I wanted in the day, 23 hours in a cell alone. I had time freedom, but I didn't have location freedom, and I didn't have financial freedom. So it taught me that you can have as much time as you want, but if you ain't got location and you ain't got money, have you really got freedom? And I thought to myself, if I've got financial freedom, but I don't have time and I don't have location, then I don't have freedom. So I thought to myself, I've got to design a life where I've got time, location, and financial freedom, which is exactly what we're doing today. We're working on a daily basis to materialize these things. And what we're doing as well with the YouTube is we're feeding back all the information that we're learning back into the YouTube. I guess you could say I've got time and location, because look where I am. Look at that view. Chilling out, making a video on my laptop, doing some studying. This is what I sort of wanted to manifest when I was in prison. Manifestation, actually going to be the last topic. Manifestation is essentially that we are a product of our belief system. We act in accordance to our beliefs. So if I believe the only way I know how to make money is through selling drugs, then in reality, that's going to be my action. My actions are going to align and justify why I believe this. Manifestation, I sort of understood manifestation before I went to prison, because I started diving deep into subjects about law of attraction. I knew, before I went to prison, I knew that at one point in my life I'm going to go to prison. I just knew it, and that's probably why I went, because I manifested it. But I've also manifested a fantastic life, a business, a team, living abroad. So it just shows that you choose what you manifest. Focus on the good stuff and unlearning and relearning new things, you know. But this is my experience of going to prison and what I learned 3 years later. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.